Welcome to the deep dive, the place where we try to cut through all the noise, the endless to-do lists, and really zero in on the one thing that actually matters for extraordinary success.
It's a huge topic. I mean, our mission today is to find a blueprint that lets you confidently ignore, what, like 90% of what's on your plate? Because you just can't do it all.
You really can't. And to kind of set the stage for this, we're starting with this piece of ancient wisdom, a Russian proverb that's pretty brutal. It says, "If you chase two rabbits, you will not catch either one."
And that's really the essence of this whole deep dive, isn't it? It's this core concept we call the one thing. And it's not about doing more.
It's not going small.
Exactly. It's about deliberately ignoring all the things you could do and just, ruthlessly committing to what you should do.
That feels so counterintuitive, though. Our whole culture celebrates being busy, the mythical multitasker.
Yeah.
But the data shows that real success isn't simultaneous, it's
Yeah.
sequential.
It is. It's the domino effect. That's the
Okay.
perfect metaphor.
Right.
If you want these huge results, you have to find the lead domino, the one action that makes everything else easier or just plain unnecessary, and then just knock it over.
And the power in that is geometric. It's not linear. I love that example of the world record attempt in the Netherlands with over 4 million dominoes.
4.4 million.
A tiny nudge on that first one, and the whole thing it compounds.
That's the goal. Finding that tiny daily nudge. But before we can even find that lead domino, we have to clear away all the bad advice, the 6 lies that keep us busy but not productive.
Okay, let's jump into that. Line number 1. And this one seems so reasonable on the surface. Everything matters equally.
Which is just fundamentally false. I
Yeah.
mean, in the world of achievement, things are never equal. This brings us right back to Pareto's principle.
The 80-20 rule.
Right. The idea that, a minority of your effort, say 20%, leads to the majority of your results, about 80%.
But you're saying we have to push that even further. It's not just 80-20.
It's about taking Pareto to the extreme. You take the 20% of your vital, 20%, you keep narrowing your focus until you get down to the essential one,
So it's a process of elimination.
a ruthless one. I mean, think about trying to narrow 100 ideas down to just one.
Yeah.
The author of one of our sources did this with his team. They had 100 ideas to fix their image.
And they had to pick one.
They were forced to. And it came down to this single big idea: write a best-selling book.
Yeah.
That one thing, 1 out of 100, became the leverage point that changed everything. Most of what you can do, you probably shouldn't do.
Speaking of things we shouldn't do, that brings us to the next big one. Line number 2, multitasking. We literally put this on resumes.
And the research is just damning. I mean, it is a total lie. The human brain simply isn't built for it.
You mean for doing 2 complex things at once?
Exactly. That Stanford research by Clifford Nass, he studied high multitaskers, expecting them to be good at managing information.
And they weren't.
They were terrible. He famously said they were lousy at everything and were suckers for irrelevancy. They'd basically trained their brains to seek out distractions.
And what we think of as multitasking is really just task switching.
Yeah, and that switching has a huge mental cost. The real-world cost is terrifying. Like, distracted driving accounts for 16% of traffic fatalities. Just using your phone takes a 40% bite out of your focus. That's like being drunk.
Wow. And it erodes our personal relationships too, right? Giving people that fragmented attention.
It absolutely does.
Okay, so if focus is the key, we have to talk about line number 3, a disciplined life. This idea that you have to be the superhuman, constantly in control.
It's exhausting just thinking about it.
Right.
And it's a myth. The truth is much more liberating. You don't need a life of discipline.
What do you need then?
You need a short sprint of discipline, just long enough for a behavior to become a habit.
So you use discipline to build the habit, and then the habit takes over the work.
Precisely. And we even have a time frame for that sprint. Research from University College London found it takes, on average, about 66 days for something to become automatic.
66 days, that's manageable.
It is. Now, the range is huge, from 18 to over 250 days, depending on the habit. But the point is, discipline is for a finite time.
But even that short sprint requires resources, which I guess leads us to line number 4. Willpower is always on will call.
We treat it like it's this infinite, well, we can draw from, but it's not. It's critical, for sure. The marshmallow test proved that.
Right, the kids who waited had much higher SAT scores.
210 points higher. But that willpower is a limited renewable resource. It's like a battery that drains all day.
And that's a physical thing, right? The prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that handles willpower, uses up a ton of our energy.
A fifth of our calories.
Hmm.
So when that part of the brain is tired, when your willpower is low, you just revert to your default settings.
Which are usually the lazy settings.
Exactly. Look at that Israeli parole board study. It's incredible. After a break, when the judges were fed, parole rates were at 65%.
And right before a break.
They plunged to almost zero. They had decision fatigue, so their default was just to say no. It was the easiest path.
So the big takeaway here is do your most important work, your one thing, first thing in the morning, when your battery is full.
That's the only way. And if you do that, you'll run straight into the next cultural trap. Line number 5, a balanced life.
The pursuit of balance. But you're saying balance is bunk.
It is, because extraordinary results demand you live out of balance. You have to go to the extremes, especially in your work life.
So what's the alternative?
Counterbalancing. Think of it like 2 buckets. You have your work bucket and your personal life bucket.
Okay.
Your work bucket needs long periods of being out of balance. You have to pour disproportionate time into it. But your personal life, your health, your family, your integrity, that needs tight counterbalancing.
So you can't neglect those areas for long?
Not at all. That's the difference between a rubber ball and a glass ball. Work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it bounces back.
But family, health,
Yeah.
those are glass balls.
They shatter, and the science backs this up. Working 55-plus hours a week is linked to a 67% increased risk of heart disease. You can't neglect that glass ball.
Okay, so we've torn down the lies. We know we need focus, habit-forming discipline, and counterbalancing. What's the master key that points all that energy in the right direction?
It's the focusing question. This is the single most powerful tool for finding your lead domino.
And the question is,
What's the one thing I can do right now such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary?
that last part is the key, isn't it? Easier or unnecessary. It's not just about what's important, it's about leverage.
It's the ultimate leverage test.
Yeah.
And it forces you to think sequentially, to connect your big future vision to what you're doing right now. It's like those Russian matryoshka dolls.
The nesting doll. So you start with the big one.
You start at the very end, your sub-goal goal. Then you ask, okay, what's the one thing in the next 5 years to get there? Then what's the one thing this year to serve that 5-year goal?
And you keep drilling down to the month, the week, the day.
Until you land on the one thing you can do right now. It turns this huge abstract vision into a concrete, immediate action.
And that process of thinking through the steps is actually more effective than just dreaming about the end result.
Way more effective. The research on students is clear. Those who visualize the process, the study sessions, the work, did way better than those who just visualized getting the A.
Okay, so we've used the question to find our right now priority. How do we make sure it actually gets done? This is where time blocking comes in.
It's totally non-negotiable. The most productive people make an appointment with themselves for their one thing, and they guard it.
And if mastery takes 10,000 hours, what does that break down to daily?
To about 4 hours a day. 4 hours of deliberate practice blocked out on your calendar.
That's a huge chunk of the day.
It is. You have to adopt a maker's schedule in the morning.
Yeah.
Big protected blocks of time to create. Then you can have your manager's schedule, the meetings, the emails in the afternoon.
But the world is designed to invade that block. We need to talk about the 4 thieves of productivity.
Thief number 1 is simple. The inability to say no. Every time you say yes to something else, you are, by definition, saying no to your one thing.
It's hard, though, but Steve Jobs was famous for this, right? He was proud of the products Apple didn't make.
He cut their product line from 350 down to 10. That's saying no at an epic scale.
So it's thief number 2.
The fear of chaos. If you focus intensely on one thing, other things will be neglected. Your inbox will fill up, things will get messy. You have to be okay with that.
You have to trust that knocking over that lead domino will give you the resources to clean up the mess later.
Exactly. If you wait for everything to be tidy, you'll never start. Thief number 3 is poor health habits.
This is about energy, not just time.
100%.
Yeah.
If you don't manage your energy, sleep, nutrition, exercise, you're starting your day with a half-charged battery. Your willpower will be shot by noon.
And the final thief.
Your environment doesn't support your goals. This is both the people you're around and your physical space.
So you need to surround yourself with people who push you higher, and you need to literally clean your desk.
You need to eliminate the sight and sound thieves before you even start your time block.
Oh.
Close the door, silence the phone, shut down the tabs. Don't rely on willpower to resist them, just remove them.
This whole deep dive, it seems to come down to simplifying. Taking this overwhelming modern world and making it a single manageable sequence.
One domino at a time.
Yeah.
And it really all comes back to this idea that success is an inside job. There's that great story about the father and the puzzle of the world.
Oh yeah, he tears it up and gives it to his son thinking it'll take him hours.
And minutes later, the kid's done. And the dad is just stunned. He asks how.
And the son says that on the back of the puzzle of the world, there was a picture of a man.
When I put the man together, he said, the world just fell into place.
That's it. That's the whole thing right there. When you get yourself right, your purpose, your priority, everything else follows.
And the end goal of all of this is not just achievement, it's living a life with no regrets. That's the ultimate why.
The number one regret of the dying is often, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Meaning, they spent their lives making a living instead of building a life.
Right. So the challenge is to make sure your one thing is aligned with a purpose that actually gives your life meaning. If you know what matters most, it all makes sense. If you don't, anything makes sense.
So we'll leave you with that ultimate focusing question, the first step you can take right now.
Just ask yourself, what is the one thing you can do right now to start using this principle in your life, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary?
Find that answer, block out the time, and make doing that your very first one thing.